Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the PM and the AM show. And it's me, my right hand man. Before I introduce this guy, we have a lot to get into. I mean, we have a full slate of action. This is like the Spice Network. You know what I mean?
All right, stop. One, I just got out of church. Two, it's Sunday morning. And three, my coffee is still burning hot.
That's what they say about the Spice Network.
Wow.
It was burning hot. But anyway, listen, I'm Pat Bernard, of course, the commissioner of Luke Turks. You know what I mean? They know him as the McGriddle down there.
Oh, my God.
Because he sticks his sausage in every bun. Then my man, Mike Lauer. Good morning, Mike.
What's going on, Pat? Pat got jokes this morning. Special shout out to Al Safiri. He's under the weather today. So, Al, get better, my friend.
That's what she said.
with a good Eagles victory today, I'm pretty sure he should be happy. And there's the wife checking in.
Yes, there's the wife. Jamie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jamie.
Oh, look who's up.
Angry Ant, what's going on?
Ant. Double A's up in the house. Good morning, Ant. But yeah, Mike, so let's talk about it. And you know what? I'm excited. First time in a long time that this Philadelphia Flyers team, to me, we kind of questioned it for the past couple of weeks whether this team is for real or not. But when you go into the West Coast for your second go-around trip and start dominating, you know, they took care of the Ice Pigeons. You know,
in 2 games, yeah.
In 2 games, they went into Arizona, into the desert, and took care of the Coyotes. They were hunting Coyotes down, and then all of a sudden they go into Colorado and they took care of some Avalanches. So guess what, Mike? You know, in the last 3-4 games that they've been in a row,
4-game win streak. Yeah.
4-game win streak. Guess what? They've only allowed 1 or 2 goals up. You know, this Flyers team to me seems to be real, and I'm loving everything I'm seeing from this team. I mean, just like in yesterday's game, winning 5-2 over the Avs.
Yeah, like when was the last? Like the thing that impressed me the most is going to Colorado for the longest time. Colorado is like, how can I put it? Remember the Phillies? When the Phillies went to Oakland, right?
Yes.
They didn't win in Oakland. They didn't win in Anaheim. You know, those places where the Phillies historically struggled. That's Colorado for the Flyers. Flyers hardly ever win at the. I call it the Pepsi Center. I don't know what it's called now out there.
Yes,
but they just don't win there. And for them to go in there last night and do what they did, Carter Hart, you got to tip your cap, man. He's playing really good goaltending. I know Ericsson's your boy, but we're going to get into the goaltenders in a minute. But look at the offensive output that they're putting out right now. Like, if you would have told us right now, you know, a couple weeks before Christmas that the Flyers are second in the Metropolitan Division, like, we would have all signed up for this. We would have been like, they're going to be in. I mean, right now they're like what, third or fourth right now in the Eastern Conference in points. That's a hell of a thing. I mean, the only team that's above them in their division right now is the Rangers, and the Rangers seem to be beating everybody. So
you know what? It's funny you brought this up because I'm waiting for an apology from my good buddy Mike Missinelli because everybody thought
don't hold your breath on that one.
No, but everybody thought I was off my rocker when I said at the beginning of this year this team was going to be a sneaky good team. Everybody looked at me like I was going to the cuckoo nest.
I even kind of looked at you a little sideways, but I saw your point, though, especially with the way these young players are playing. Owen Tippett, Tyson Forster, you know, I'll tell you what, Morgan Frost last night, he probably had three chances. Yeah. Anthony likes Mikey Miss. Yeah, we like him too, man. He's a good friend of the show. But I'll tell you what, like Morgan Frost and me last night, I liked the way he carried the play last night. Yes. And we even got a goal out of Farabee. Like, yeah. I mean, you know, maybe that'll get this dude off the schneid and get him rolling.
And so Mike, you know what? I'm going to give you credit because this is something you called from the beginning of the year. Something I was complaining about. The front office, Danny Barrera, Keith Jones. I said, your typical Flyers, great. This is the same cycle I've seen for years. It's going to go nowhere. You have a guy who has no experience in the front office. You have a radio guy, just all he does is make jokes. I didn't believe that this team that was going to be in the position that they are now. I just believed in the talent. But you know what? When you hear things and you listen to people, you listen to the guys who've been around the game. You listen to Jim Jackson when he was on with our man Matty B. You listen to him talking. He said, Keith Jones is he travels around the country. He travels with the team. He finds when he's been there analyzing, he was listening. He's picked up on the mojo. He's understanding how good this Flyers team is. And then you look at Danny Barrera again last night in the house. Last night, and again, you and I've kind of nod our head like, okay, I'll go with this move. I'm not so sure about it, but you know what? I'll go with the move because of the fact that Danny Barrera knows talent.
Well, what I'm liking about it is remember, Pat, last year, right? We were taking a beating throughout a lot of games. Joey Sullivan, what's going on?
What's up, Joe Sullivan?
The Joe, and make sure you check him out over on Out of the Box.
Yeah, that's
every Monday night, 6 o'clock. Him and Diego, Sean, and Mike Fuji. Make sure you guys check them out over there.
Mount Fuji.
Yeah, there you go.
He's the top.
But Joe's got a point here when he says the Flyers are ahead of schedule. I think they are because if you remember, look at all the beatings that the Flyers took a year ago. Losing games like 7-2, 6-1, 8-3. These young guys were in there for that. And remember, I kept telling you, Pat, I said, hey, look, listen, the pipeline down the line for the Flyers is pretty decent. They have some players that they can put a nucleus around. And I'm sorry, looking at it now, how big of a cancer was guys like Tony DeAngelo and Kevin Hayes?
Yes.
We're thinking Hayes is this good dude. They're the only two things that are missing off of this team from a year ago. Now, granted,
they're tracked by addition.
Right, and Justin Braun, I'm glad he's going too. Or did he retire finally?
I
don't know. He's probably
he might be back working for Walmart. I don't know.
But Mark Stahl needs to join him.
The Boston Stranglers here.
Yo, Insane Yo, what's up, man?
Good morning, buddy.
Insane Yo, I want to give you congratulations on your Patriots the other night on that stellar victory in Pittsburgh.
Yes,
that was a good one.
So, like I said, to me though, like you said, subtract by addition, right? You watch the way all the pieces that weren't working, and again, people are like, "Oh, well, that's just a coach and player relationship." No, if the player's not working for the coach is going to find something that does work. And I'm sorry, And look, I love Kevin Hayes off the ice, but X's and O's wise, I'm glad he's going. I'm glad that the Tony DeAngelos are going. This is a for real young team. And, I question some of the moves that they brought, like the Mark Stalls of the world, and keeping the Russell Lions around. I'm like, what for? But when I watched them play yesterday, play defense, what they're signed to do, they play very well. And, and the defense in front of Carter Hart, as much as we want to...
It's night and day.
Right.
It's night and day from a year ago.
Right, and as much as we want to tip our hats to Carter Hart, the defense that's in front of them, the way they're playing up front, man-to-man coverages, all that stuff, just like football. The way they play man-to-man, they make it tougher, for other opposing offenses to score on. And that's a caveat to Carter Hart's game.
It is, and if you take notice too, Pat, last year, what was one of our Achilles' heels for the Flyers was their penalty kill. You felt like as soon as the team went on a power play, you were like, man, they're getting a goal here. It is totally reversed now. That is a strength of this Flyers team. They kill off penalties, man.
Yeah.
And, it's only going to be a matter of time before their power play starts getting going. Yeah. And once that starts getting, dude, they're going to be a scary team. And just think, you still got Cutter Gunther on the way from BC. You still got Mitchkoff who's coming. So, and they still have guys that are down. You got guys like Wade Allison and and a few other guys that are playing down with the Phantoms. They got people coming. Insanio says, I still think the Flyers are a playoff team. I'm not going off of what
I said
I'm not going off what I said in September. Yeah, he did say that. He did think that. Now, Pat, what we really got to get into is looking where they are at now. A lot of people expected them to be sellers
Yes.
at this trade deadline. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think they're going to be buyers.
Well, listen, I agree. I think they are going to be buyers. And before I go into that, Mike, I want to talk to you about, again, you mentioned about, in the beginning of your statement, you mentioned about the offense and how good it's been. And a man on a mission since he's been on this road trip has put up a pair of goals in each game, Mike, is the one Travis Konecny. He's, I talk about team chemistry between Embiid and Maxey, how that's flowing well. Well, the line with Couturier and Konecny has been really good. I mean, they've been on fire together. I mean, they find each other open, and like the way Torts has these lines set has been second to none. You mentioned about the Farabee goal. Well, what led into that was really good because you had Travis Sanheim going in for a goal. It ricocheted.
Dude, Sanheim's going to have 60 points this year.
You think so?
Yes, I really do. Like, he's at like 35 right now.
Right.
So, I mean, for him to get 60 points, that's not out of the question. And that would be a career high for him. And he's also playing very well, not only on the back end, but he's also jumping in. He had a couple assists last night. And I'll tell you what, the one, he threw it right across the goal mouth. I believe it was Farabee's goal. So,
I'll take this. My man Muffler Mike says, "Good morning, gents. Still waiting for Pat to wear some wing gear on the show." You know what, bud? I am going to rock my wings gear sometime.
I got to get some. My goal is to get to at least 2 Wings games this year. I want to get to them. So,
listen, you could be down there covering with me, Mike. We got to get you into the box. It's fun.
I don't want to go in no box with you. It's bad enough I got to be in a studio with
yes.
you. You want to stick me in a box?
Hey, listen, I'll stick you anywhere I please.
No,
buddy.
you won't, buddy. Let's keep it moving here.
Sorry. Took that train, went a little bit off the
rails. Every Sunday with you.
Yes.
But no, I'm looking at these stats from the game back previous against Arizona. Okay, if you're taking a look at it now, this is Farabee. Now this is 2 games in a row now with him with a goal, and like you said, you have Konecny now back-to-back games with dual goals. And I'll tell you what, that second goal on that penalty shot last night was wicked. I mean, for him, he turned that goalie's pad around and still scored. So, and Cam York actually has been getting on the board here a little bit.
He's been getting, again, this offense attacks with a bunch of offensive pressure. I mean, attack. I mean, they're solid. Like, again, you see the Owen Tippett goal, right?
That was amazing.
He shoots it, ricochets, gets his own rebound, and finds the back of the net. This team is solid all the way around. Like I said, we can look at the offense. We can look at the defense. You can look at the goaltending. I mean, every which way you could cut this bad boy, it's solid. So let's get into some more of these comments.
Yeah. They're going by.
Matty B checking to the program. What's up, bud? Don't lose sight of rebuild. A lot of good role players right now. No top end talent. Don't give me Guthrie, like you said, and Mishkov prospects. They just are prospects. We need a top end talent.
Okay.
You want to take it?
I'm going to take that, but Gus, did you see Gus?
Yeah, I'm about to put it.
Okay, cool.
I'll let you answer this one.
Yeah, I see what Matty's saying, and it is the temper because yes, Gutter and whatever, and Mitchkoff are both prospects. He's right, but I'm also looking at what Gunnar did in the college scene. Like he's tearing it up there, and he has been for 2+ years. So I can be a little bit ecstatic, and I'm watching. Seeing what Mitchkoff's doing over at the KHL. Yeah, the KHL's not the NHL, but it's probably the closest league to it.
Right.
And the kid's having a phenomenal year over there.
And look, and I get what Matty said. Like,
I know we have to temper it, but
and by the way, guys, check out Matty B tomorrow right here on Edge of Philly Sports at 8 p.m. right here live with Matty B. You never know. You just never know. And here goes our man Gus. Our man Gus checking in goes, we can all agree that we are doing much better than we thought we were going to do at the beginning of the season. Just need to find a way to keep it together for the rest of the season. Gus,
and he's right. He's right. And I'm sorry. Like, I disagree with Matty's next one where he says they need players like TK still need to be moved. No, they don't need to be moved. That's the kind of guy you want to keep around as a part of your nucleus. He's still young enough. Like, I disagree with that. You don't trade away a guy that you can still use as the nucleus. He could be that leader of that young team.
Yes.
But that's my only disagreement. Now, anybody else that that's on that Flyers team that's a little bit older that he feels that they should be getting rid of, guys like maybe a Sean Couturier or a Scott Lawton. I would agree with it. I mean, even to a point, I would still kind of argue Coots too, because you could keep him around too. But again, he's a little long in the tooth, so I can understand getting rid of him. But a guy like Konechny, no. Konechny's a guy you want to infuse that nucleus with, not trade it out.
No, and I agree. Like this is it's working, right? That's the whole thing. We want to see this work. I mean, again, if we trade away, when have we not learned our lesson from the Sixers? Have we not learned? I get it. Other than Embiid and Maxey right now, what have we learned? And Kyle Oubre, but still, it's we haven't yet to get past the second round. So, I mean, again, I like the direction of the team. Again, all phases of it is playing well. I mean, and like you said, last year, the year before, we were bottom feeders. This is finally feeling good. Like I looked into this winter, I thought, or after the Eagles, what do we have? We're gonna have a stressed out Sixers team, and a dumpster fire of a Flyers team. I'm gonna have to wait another 2 years.
Right, and it's been surprisingly good.
Like
Let's hit some of these.
Yeah, just like Joey Sullivan said, they're ahead of schedule, and I'll take it. Let's get some more. Here goes my man Anthony. Angry Ant goes, I watched last night's Flyers post game and after the game, and other coaches were praising how good the Flyers are about Torts. Yeah, listen, Torts is doing a fine job again.
It wasn't my pick, but I mean,
listen. You and I both. You and I were very upset about this, and you know what? But guess what? He's handling business just fine. Matty B checking. He goes, the power play will never get going until they get top end talent. They are 75 out of
587 since 21. Yeah, they have been, but I just feel like that. To me, power play and your special teams, it's kind of like ebb and flows, man. Sometimes, it'll be really bad, and it can be bad for a long time, but it can be good, and it can be really good.
And if you haven't seen it yet, going on Twitter, Matty B asked a good question, and we have something similar of it. We didn't know we were going to ask this, but he asked the question on Twitter. He said, if a team right now called the Flyers and said, give you first three round draft picks for TK, are you taking it? And I said, no. And he gives you his options what to pick for. And I said, no, I'm hanging up. I cannot move TK. Just like Angry Anthony says, why move on TK when he's on fire? I mean, and listen, so I parallel this Flyers team to the Phillies, right? When some guy gets hot, okay, TK is playing hot right now. But at some point, he's going to get cold. That's fine because someone else is going to.
Yeah, but right, he'll start getting cold,
or somebody,
or Owen Tippett, or Forrest, or like I said,
Atkins.
Yeah. Now, see that would be a guy I would be greatly. I could care less if they moved on from.
And here goes our man Gus. Speaking of guys, check Gus every Thursday night here on Edge of Philly Sports, 9 p.m. Talking also, he talks union soccer, but he literally could talk. He's like a world of trades when it comes to talking soccer. You name a soccer player, he'll find them for you. But anyway, he goes, can't move on from TK right now. If anything, still building himself as a player. Yeah, and I mentioned this too last night on the post game show. Like we talked about, Tyrese Maxey. This is his year. This is his team. Well, this year, this is TK's team. This is all him.
Him and Coots.
They are the faces. The conversation we're really about to get into. Matty B goes, that's like 13%. You know what I mean? 13.4% to be accurate. He goes, the players in Lehigh are okay. The FAMs are the future role players, not top end talent. Wow. Again, Matty B is hard to please. You know what I mean? I love him. He's great. But that, that's that Northeast Philly culture. You know what I mean? Got tough skin. My man Brad checking in goes, good morning, guys. What's up, Philadelphia Eagles offense? What's up, Philadelphia Eagles offense needs to run the ball. Hey, listen, we're going to get in all the
Brad, we're going to get in that a little later on, man.
So the question I have for the Flyer fans out there, trade deadline is roughly about 2 months away. We're getting close. This Flyers team is on pace to make it to the playoffs. Mike, I'm going to ask you. Should the Flyers make a move with as good as these goaltenders are now, should they consider moving one of the two for a top, go through the free agents, who's willing to make a move for a reasonable, defenseman, winger, or you
Or you mean
willing
a top top talent?
or you want to stay right where you're at with both of these guys?
See, that's kind of iffy. Because if you're able to get a top 10, if you're able to get a top talent, and it's going to cost you a Carter Hart, I would do it. I mean,
Gunther has sold.
yeah, it's 16. It was +4. Mitchkov did not make the KHL All-Star team. Okay, but last reports I heard is that he was having a good.
So yeah,
having a good, good year over there.
So yeah, so everyone out there, if you can,
but here's the thing, like Maddie's saying though, and this is going to actually kind of answering Maddie B's question is they need a top line. They need a top line talent. So if they're going to, unfortunately, the only way you get top line talent is if you trade top line talent. So if Carter Hart continues to keep playing the way he's playing, yes, he's movable. Or if they decide to keep Hart and Erickson keeps playing the way he's playing, he becomes a trade piece. And so yeah, I wouldn't if they're going to get something, decent in return, a guy that that can help them and be a top talented guy where he's going to take some of the pressure off the top lines. Yeah, I would move one of them. I would.
You would move?
Yeah, I would move one of them. I mean, because it's only going to speed up your process. So, it's going to speed up your rebuild process.
Just going. So here goes. Angry Ink goes. Why move pieces for the Flyers when they're just hitting their peak?
Because after a peak, there's always a valley.
Good point. So Angry Ant. So at some point, you want to again, like Matty B says, on power plays, this team is struggling bad. I mean, they're better shorthand than they are on power plays. But anyway, at some point though, you want to see if you can add to the talent. You want to see if you can add to this team. So I'll be like I said. To me, I don't want to move. I'm okay because, and I know a lot of people like our good buddy Bill Furman, a couple other Flyer fans have been getting on my keister about Carhart, and this is why. If you look at the data, Sam Harrison has been playing well. Last year he came in and put a little bit of a spark. Him playing spark, him playing well makes Carhart play well. He's been Carhart's been up in his game because the guy right behind him is playing very well. That to me, this is why I need Sam Harrison there. If he's going to be the motivation of, Carhart have to look over his shoulder about,
So you're not trading nobody?
No, because again, the two goalers you got literally. The old saying is in hockey, if you have two good goalies, you don't have a good. If you have we call two number one goalies, you don't have a goalie at all. Well, literally, this team has two goalies. They are playing just fine with
right now. Right now they are. So I mean, but it's still a long sample size.
Mom, what's up? Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Have a fun show. Yes. And then Angry Anthony checking. He goes, if you start training, it could ruin their chemistry of the team. Yeah, listen, that's the flip side you're going to have to deal with, though. I mean,
I don't care if it's a generational talent that's going to come in here and help. Well, not a generational because that's kind of overthrown. But if it's a top tier player that's going to come in here, I don't care. Those players that are here are learn to get along with him because that player is going to make their jobs a lot easier. So I don't like. To me, I think that whole team chemistry thing, it's true to a point.
Yeah.
If you can make your team better by adding somebody who is much better than everybody that's in the room, people are not going to look at that, and it's not going to go negatively. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like too much. There's a lot of emphasis put too much on team chemistry.
And to further your point, again, if it's telling the locker room anything, and once you bring in a top end talent,
it's telling the locker. It's being sent down. The locker room's going to look and go, okay, they brought him in here. They're trying to win.
They trust in us to win now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're trusting us to win now. So, again, Mike, very good play this past week. And Carhart, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're finally giving Carhart. No, I call how I see things. Carhart has been having a stuff. Again, this past 3 games that he's been in, it's only let 1 to 2 goals go by him. That's it. Last night he stopped 36 out of 38 shots. He's ranked number 8 against in top 10 against goal against average. He's been playing very, very good. Again, so to me, this past week it's been the Carhart week. He's been fine. He's been excellent. Again, last night I saw about 3 to 4 times, especially in that second period, where the Colorado Avalanche had breakaways, odd man rushes, and Carhart shut it down. And Carhart, the one that got by him, that second goal, he looked a little frustrated, but he got right back in the zone. Then they try to run it back, Colorado, and he said, "Not today, not today." So he was stellar after that. Again, this guy has been playing lights out, and like I said, I'll tip my hat to the defense. Defense has been awesome. The offense has been doing their thing. It's been clicking. They're bringing tons of pressure. So, Mike, last go-away thought about the Philadelphia Flyers before, they are going to head into Nashville.
That's going to be tough.
So, Mike, who is it you have to watch for on Nashville? So I looked at Nashville's roster, and I watched a couple of their games. You got Felipe Forsberg. You have Ryan O'Reilly. You got those kind of guys out there. 2 guys you may have to look for as far as their offensive production. And then, they're going to have to, figure how to win this one. Again, if Travis Konecny is going to continue to be your road warrior, absolutely. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, they're a good team. They're a good team. I don't know much about Nashville this year. I haven't really had a chance to take a look at them. But I did see they were kind of going back and forth, I think, with the Rangers. Was the one game that I did check in on them, and they were kind of going back and forth with them. So
yeah, well, they're right now sitting at 8th in the West Conference. Again, just borderline making the playoffs. But again, Nashville's a good team. The Flyers are going to see if they can continue this run. Again, if they could get 5 straight wins, think about that. You have to be all in at that point. I'm sorry, everybody wants to tank and do all the.
Well, listen, remember they had a couple 6 and 7 games losing streaks.
Right.
So let's and we kind of got on them about that. So I want to see the Flyers get a couple 6 or 7 game win streaks. How about that for a turnaround for this year?
So again, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Flyers. Guys, now we're going to translate over to the Sixers. But before I do that, of course, I got to give you beautiful people one of the great sponsors of Edge of Philly Sports, and we'll be right back with you.
All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now, because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com.
Alrighty, guys, we're back.
Yes, we are back. We are in the mud. We are getting nasty. And
speak for yourself.
Okay. Sorry, wrong. I thought we were back at Luke Turks or something. I keep on thinking that. I thought about.
Dude, you keep mentioning them like we're gonna have to go down there and make them pay us money for sponsorships as much as you've been mentioning them.
Yeah, them or the Blue Oyster. But anyway, listen, let's get into some action though that happened this past week, and of course, quick mention to my man. Muffler Mike, the Wings, my man, catch those guys 9:00 tonight. We're gonna be talking some Wings and all that stuff. They got rocked last night. It looks like they got outclassed by the Toronto Rock. My man Gary was all happy. And look, as he should. They are a upper top end tier in the Eastern Conference, and the Wings just showed me they're not. This was a measuring stick, and they're not up for the challenge. But we'll talk all that more at 9:00 tonight with all across all the time. But right now, we're going to talk some Sixer talk. And, of course, before we get into that, Angry Anthony says
Nashville's mediocre.
Okay. He goes, the only way I would trade is for Connor McDavid.
Well, you're not getting Connor McDavid for either. You could trade both Flyer goaltenders, and they wouldn't give you Connor McDavid.
No, they're not giving up Boardwalk there.
Now, I would take Leon Draisaitl.
Yes, yes. Our man Mitchy Poo. What's up,
buddy? Mitch?
He says, good morning. That's my man. But anyway, again, the 76ers, have been playing well. Again, Joel Embiid back on the floor. Again, tearing it up. However, as they should, it's against bottom feeders. But I have a little problem.
Oh, now what?
Because the Flyers are, just like I saw on Friday, the bench comes in, and they're not producing like they should be.
You mean the Sixers?
Sixers, I'm sorry.
You said the Flyers. That's why you threw me.
I'm all fired up, man.
You threw me off for a loop here.
Yeah, I'm all fired up. I'm sorry putting you through the ringer, but you should see I'm fired up. My Red Rocket's up. Everything's
I could care less about that.
Okay. But anyway, the Sixers, like I said, they're beating the bottom feeder teams by like the skin of their teeth. Like, are you kidding me? Are we really struggling with the Washington Wizards?
Hold on. Again, stop. You guys are looking at style and points and all this other happy. Did they win?
Barely.
That's not the question I asked you. Did they win?
Yes.
All right, then quit your bitching. They won the game. If they lost, then yes, you could come back and go, oh my God, you lost to a bottom feeder. A win is a win is a win is a win is a win. This is a marathon, not a sprint. They're not going to look good every night. They're not going to look good every other night. Like, dude, you relax. Take a deep breath.
No, I can't relax.
What do you mean? You can't take... Dude, they are literally 2 games out of first place in their division behind Boston.
Mike, they're struggling on defense.
Okay, that could be an area of concern. But you can't say, oh, they're struggling with these... Dude, they're going to struggle at times. The fact of the matter is this. They're winning. And I'm sorry, from what I've seen of this coach...
Hold on. You can't say that. You're the guy who was just on your show complaining about Brian Johnson's play calling, and they didn't win on Thursday or last week, but they were winning. You weren't complaining then.
Yeah, I did.
I know that's a different story.
That's a different story, but this is what I'm telling. Like, Pat, they're not going to be, you got Embiid in and out of the lineup. Okay, with this load management. You got to remember, too, they also had that BS in-season tournament, too. Okay? So their schedules are a little wacky.
No, I have a right to call out Nick Nurse right now.
For what? They're winning.
Doesn't matter. These are bottom feeder teams. Mike,
Pat, they're not going to smoke every team. They're not going to smoke every team. Stop. This is an 82-game season.
Oh, God.
Even the bottom feeder teams win.
Mike, do you understand what's going on?
Bro, I'm looking right now.
Yeah, you're looking.
I'm looking right now. Hold on. Washington is at 3-18, which means they've won 3 times this year, Pat.
Yes,
they've won.
Okay, but the defense has struggled, and this is my beef with Nick Nurse. You got to let me finish my statement.
Okay, go ahead.
The fact that Nick Nurse won't bring in Rocco to play perimeter defense. This guy has been playing perimeter defense, and he brings in these guys. And I love Marcus Morris because he's a Philly boy, but let's keep it real. This dude should not be playing and get as much minutes as Rocco. Rocco can play defense. He can play a little ball. And I love Embiid, but there's times he get, he's what we call as the French would like to say, lazy compito. Because my man, sometimes he gets with it. There's other times he looks like a statue under the paint. But anyway, we got a couple more comments coming on, and of course, leading us off in the Sixers comments is our man Mitch. Not Mitch. I'm sorry.
Guys.
Oh. Where's my coffee at? I need something. in my mouth. But so anyway,
off the rails we go.
Yes, here we go. Just taking that train and it fell off again. But anyway, Dive says the defense has been bad lately. A huge part of huge part of that is because of your 2 best points of attack, defenders, and running on the bench. Yeah, Rocco and Springer. I totally agree. This is something me and Dives often talk about, and our man Sean Bernard, my brother from another mailman. So
I was about to say he don't claim you.
No. That's why I said, Sean, I'm pretty sure you look like the local mailman. I'm like, I thought I saw you when I was growing up. But anyway, the 76ers team are going through their growing pains, and the fact that the coach by now we've got a sample size. And I don't know, just going with Dives was just talking about where's the substitutions for the right guys? Why aren't we seeing more Rocco? Rocco will have his hands in your face all day long and make you force turnovers.
Okay,
And that's I don't understand. Like,
all right, so you don't understand. So maybe either one, Rocco's not picking up whatever defenses that he's calling. That could be it. Jalen Springer, the same thing, because I saw the thing. I'm saying something about Springer and Rocco. There has to be a reason why he's keeping them off. Okay, he's not keeping them off because he doesn't like them or he doesn't want them. Okay, there's a reason why. So either they're not doing something that they're supposed to do to get these minutes. That's what you got to look at. Nick Nurse is a real coach. This isn't Doc, this isn't Doc, you know what I mean? They're Doc Rivers. This is, Nick Nurse knows how to coach basketball. And I'm sorry, I feel like if you're looking at it right now, dude, they're 14-7. You tell me every 21 games they're going to be 14-7, they're going to have a hell of a record at the end of the year.
I'm just saying they should be.
Again, you guys look at it, man. You guys keep looking at it as, again, it's the same thing with the Flyers. You can't expect a blowout just because that team's a bottom feeder. You can't. You also got to realize, too, teams get up to play the Sixers. The Sixers are a good team.
I understand that.
But if you understand that, then you would see that not every game is going to be a blowout and that teams can't. Dude, look how we struggle with Detroit, and they got 2 wins.
But your database should tell you that after a few days,
dude,
Rocco can play perimeter defense.
Yes, and he can, but he's not doing something right.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, he's not doing something right if he can't get on the court.
No. Hold on, I'm about to get in. Let me get in this comment. It goes, last week was evidence of training Alex Caruso and our OG. Yeah. So, I listen, Dives, I totally get it. I understand. Look, you and I have talked about this. I'm trying to get through Mike's Knish about these Sixers problem. Mike is just tying up his sphincter about everything. And you know why? Because I'll tell you in a little bit.
Let the man coach. Let the man coach.
Pat, get a pet rock.
A win is a win.
Come on.
I mean,
this is the problem. This is that the Sixers have a massive Tobias Harris problem.
No, I think it's like when Antonio said. I think it's the other way around. I think he's got a problem with the Sixers. And to be honest with you, I think this is the year that I think Tobias finally gets moved. I don't know why. Like I said, he's the only guy that shows up for the Sixers in the postseason. He gets so much crap around here for the contract that he signed. I'm sorry. If a radio station offered Pat Bernard $25 million, right? And you're only worth, 86
pennies.
Yeah, you're only worth, $1.85, but you're going to get $27 million. Yes, people will call you out. Oh, that Pat Bernard got overpaid. He got this. But you still signed the contract, right?
And that goes on the management's fault.
Right. Here's the thing, though. When somebody goes down on that station, Pat Bernard's the Energizer Bunny that comes in and does it.
But
that's Tobias Harris. Yeah, he's going to disappear during the season. Why? Because we never made him feel like he was a part of the Big Three.
Like he's a part of it.
No, he wasn't. When he was here, that's BS. When they got him, it was Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. It was always Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. And then they got rid of him. Then they got James Harden. Then when Maxey got drafted, it was Harden, Maxey, and Embiid. Tobias Harris has been a forgotten guy here. I don't blame him.
Mike, he averages 16 points. There's 20 different options that are better right now.
True. There are, but I'm looking at it. Become playoff time, those 20 different options disappear.
Hell, we just got some new pieces.
Again, we got new pieces last year that were supposed to get us over the hump. And where did they end up doing? They took a second-round dump, okay? And guess what? The only guy who showed up for this team consistently last year was Tobias Harris. He had one bad game out of, 11 games? Bad games? One bad game?
He has a lot of bad stretches. I'll give you that. And I'm hoping, listen, if I got to wait till April for this guy to come around, yeah. I mean, I hope he does show up.
Listen, that's the NBA nowadays.
And I'm not going to hold him accountable, not just him, rather. I'm going to hold the MVP, too. I mean, listen, he's got to show up. So here goes Dive checking in. I'm a little worried about Embiid doing too much offensively. I'd rather have him save his energy for the defensive side and focus on rim protection. Yeah, and listen, and this is something we talked about on Friday with me, Sean, and Mitch. We talked about, listen, if you need to play low management, game with him, I'm okay, because the fact that you have B-Ball Paul and Mo Bamba who kind of fill the void of taking care of that role. But, And it's fine because and you have Maxey too, who can also, again, you saw him Friday. He was a catch and shoot guy, catch and shoot. And then whenever he saw a teammate open on the perimeter, dish it out. I mean, he does so much more too. Again, everyone talks about Embiid and again his 50-point games and all these other things that Embiid's doing. Everyone's forgetting, like Tyrese Maxey has become like that silent assassin. Like he's averaging like 30 points a game. Like he looks really good.
He's really
he's coming to his own.
You can see he really put the work in, and I'm happy for him, man. I really am. I'm happy for Tyrese Maxey, and I think he should be an All-Star this year.
Yes. Here goes a little bit more. Embiid is going to be cooked by the playoffs if his usage rate is continuously.
No, how about Embiid gets in better shape? How about that? Like, I'm tired of hearing about this BS about load management and we got to sit him and we got to do that. No. How about Joel takes his ass to the gym a little bit more and bulks his body up a little bit more so he can take the physical pounding? I never saw Hakeem Olajuwon take this many days off. And the NBA was rougher back then. I never saw Patrick Ewing take this many days off. It was rougher back then. Hell, Luke Longley, the big Australian from the Bulls, didn't take this much time off. And it was a much more physical game. This is, I'm sorry, I'm calling it, like I said, it's the pussification of the NBA. These guys got to take load management off. Man, my ass. You're getting paid to play a child's game, and you're a multimillionaire. Get your body in shape so you can take it. Like, you got to be kidding me, man. You really do. He's a special talent. Could you imagine if he just really took it seriously? Because to me, I don't think the dude takes it seriously. That's why I want to trade him.
I think he does. I'm on the side of Dives here. I just think that he gets burned out. He's getting burned out too much. And listen,
like I said, he needs to bulk his body up, dude. He's got to bulk his body up. He's got to get, kind of shred and bulk at the same time, man. Like he is a beast. He is a literal beast in the middle. Nobody can stop him. And yet, we have to take him out of the lineup for 10 games a year? Like, that's BS, dude.
It's funny you brought this up. So I brought this up to Dives and Sean. Like, to me, I think they play this, this mid-season in-tournament thing. But however, I think there was like a backdoor, pass. He's like, listen, if you guys play this, your PTO time will go up. You know what I mean? Because these guys, my man, but you're right. Listen, and it is a different game. Like, and I was a little guy, so I can't, I didn't fully understand it, but the Patrick Ewings, the Olajuwons.
I mean, listen, I know the game has changed, but the game has gotten softer, not harder. Like, I'm sorry, these dudes ain't running down the lane if you got Hakeem Olajuwon and, Shaquille O'Neal. He was the first, 300-pounder that was, well, I'm not going to say 300-pounder, but he was damn near close. You know what I mean?
So, my man, the Papernick has, popped up on the program.
Mike, what's up, dude? I'll be talking with him all night.
He goes, short Tobias could be moved possibly because of his final year of his contract. Dives also checking. He goes, Tobias Harris shoots 1 3-pointer a game. How about the fact that the other game he gave you this much in the second half. He gave you that much. But here goes Mitch going, goes, Tobias is getting paid. It wasn't his fault. It's the pay scale of the NBA. Good point. Just look at the contracts behind him being handed out of the NBA players after 1 or 2 years. Yeah, listen, they're paying big money. Big money. He just got a shot out. And of course, my man Dice says, Mike, I was watching Larry Bird versus Sean Kemp. Highlights this
dude,
morning.
Sean Kemp was my player, dude. That was my team back. That was my team back in the day. Was the Seattle SuperSonics? Sean Kemp, Detlef Schrempf, Gary Payton, the other Irving Johnson, who played center.
So
look, that was my squad.
Look, before we get off the Sixers are playing very well. Again, another cupcake, easy schedule, and the Sixers. I'm a little worrisome, but I do have some questions about Nick Nurse. But anyway, they got it. They got the Wizards. They got Pistons twice, 2 of the bottom feeders of the Eastern Conference.
3 bottom feeders. Literally coming up. They had Washington, 2 with Detroit, Charlotte, and then and then Chicago.
Things start to get like heated around Christmas time.
I like it though. Look at this. I love this 3-game stretch. Minnesota, Toronto, Miami, Orlando. Orlando's playing pretty decent ball too.
I saw that coming.
Right? I mean, after watching, you know what I mean.
So, all right, guys. Listen, now it's our favorite subject. We love talking.
Well, hey, before we do that, let's pay some bills.
Oh yeah, let's.
Come on, we got to pay some bills.
We got to hear Dives' voice.
Yeah, let's hear Dives. You guys want to hear Dives? Here we go.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
Thank you, Dives. Thank you, buddy. Well, Mike had to go to the bathroom. He'll be right back. So, guys, I'm here holding it down for a little bit. But you know what? This is Dallas week part 2. And after last week, I feel like everyone's down in the dumps. Like, I other than Mike, I have yet to see anyone wearing any color green. And it's usually if you're taking your dog for a walk or if you're going out for a quick run, everyone's got their color greens on and nothing. I've heard more Flyers talk this week than the Eagles talk. Well, like, what's going on? Everyone's down in the dumps with this Birds team. I mean, so Mike's about to pop back on. Mike, I got to ask you. And it's like the number one question going around about this Birds team.
Okay.
Let me finish my statement, but have they been exposed? Because they are 10-2, but, I feel like, can they get off the canvas? Are they going to be able to get themselves back off? Or this is who they've been, and they've just been freaking lucky, since day one. And Mike, guys, Mike does have his own show here on Edge of Philly Sports Thursdays at 6 p.m. So when you come in from work, sit down, have your dinner, and tune on to Mike, because Mike, James, and Joey, double J's, they do a hell of a job. And I listen to you, Mike. So let's go back to last week before we get into today. I look at this Niners game, and my concern was, just like everybody else's, the play calling. And I blame someone on Nick Sirianni at some point, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but Nick Sirianni's got to recognize that the fact that there has been hardly any runs. I feel like your wideouts are fatigued for all they, that's all they do is do, routes, and, there's no design of a running play and all that stuff. And then everyone wants to get on the defense about the poor tackling. How about the fact that the offense constantly goes 3 and out and burned out this defense? They were beat. And the Niners, to me, had this game circled on their calendar for a year. They've been having punching bags of the Birds logo. They couldn't wait to get into South Philly and rock them. And I feel embarrassed. And I got to tip my caps, to Niners fans and all that stuff. They beat us, and it is what it is, man. It's embarrassing, and I don't know if they could go into Dallas, because Dallas is going to have revenge on their mind as well. And it's not going to look, I don't think it's going to be pretty. I honestly think that, they got stuff on tape now with the Birds. I think they're going to come in and play the full 4 quarters. And, going to Jared's World is not easy. And another question I got for you, Mike.
Dude, how many questions you got? I got to answer like 30 questions.
Yes,
Come on, get to the point.
Yeah, well, this is like a resume, Mike. I
know. It's like a book, Pat, but I can't. By the time you get to the last question, I'm going to forget the first one.
All right. Bingo. Well, let me ask you, Mike. So I looked at, a lot of these websites, and they're saying that they got top 10 quarterbacks, and Jalen Hurts ain't one. So
All right. This is
give me the
let me give you the gauntlet. Number one, as far as last week, I still don't think the 49ers are that much better than the Eagles, even with them winning 42-10. There's a lot of factors. Like the one main thing that I saw this week is that national, and I think every national commentator who said this ought to lose their job. Okay, there are national commentators out there and talk show hosts that said that win by the 49ers last week really put into that, pretty much saying that the 49ers would have beat the Eagles if they were healthy a year ago. That's so full of it. Because if you go back a year ago, we had T.J. Edwards in the middle. We had Gardner Johnson playing safety. We had Dallas Goedert. So we had all these people here. So, yeah, no, they got their ass kicked last year in the NFC title game. I don't care that their quarterback got hurt. And if he would have stayed in the game, it wouldn't have mattered. Our defense was better. That's number one. Number two, I had somebody kind of hit me up in my comments and go, oh, well, I'm glad you didn't use, them being off for 10 days. No, I'm not using them being off for 10 days, but the Eagles playing 3 games in 13 days, that had something to do with it as well. And especially the game before that, your defense was on the field for 95 plays. That's a long time to be on the field. Listen, I chalked that game up to the 49ers just caught us. They caught it. It was the right time in the schedule where we've been playing at. They caught us. That's all well and good.
And they came off a 10-game, little.
Listen, if you go down, Kansas City came off a bye against us.
Yeah.
Okay. Washington. Oh no, not Washington. Washington was no. Kansas City came off the bye against us, and that was regular. And then San Francisco's got 10 days rest. The Cowboys will have 10 days rest, and Seattle's going to have a regular rest. So you're looking at those 5 games right there. They didn't do. I mean, the schedule makers didn't do us no favors, but I'm not worried about that. What I saw in that game last week was this, and I love that Nick Bosa. See, the Bosa brothers, they're the gift that keeps on giving because they just can't keep their mouth shut.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Listen, if you have a blueprint on somebody, okay, you don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You keep it because we might have to see you again. So now you said, oh, we got the blueprint. We just kept Jalen in the pocket. That's all well and good. But here's what the Eagles got away from. They got away from doing the short passing, which was working. A.J. Brown was getting 9-10 yards a pop. Devontae Smith on the ends was getting that. What they did was, and this is smart with San Francisco, you got to give Steve Wilkes credit. He said, okay, you want to keep doing that? I'm going to drop 2 high safeties now. You're not going to beat us steep. You can do all the internets. When they dropped the 2 high safeties, the Eagles stopped getting creative. When they go 2 high safeties, you have over-aggression. When you have over-aggressive linebackers like Greenlaw and Warren, okay? Or not Warren, Fred Warren. Warner. When you have those 2 linebackers there, you got to run misdirection. You got to run counters, okay? You get them going one way, go the other. The Eagles, this is where Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni need to be playing because this offense that I'm seeing now, this was the Nick Sirianni offense in 2021, the first half of the season, when the Eagles couldn't get going and couldn't do anything because they passed the ball too much. This is on Sirianni. I feel it's more on Sirianni than it is Brian Johnson. Okay?
I can agree with that. Mike Papernick's checking is this week the OC and DC need to show up. Mike, thoughts on I agree. I agree on that. Guy goes, I think Eagles fans have their butts clenched. Oh, I'm a good butt clincher. And in a complete wait to see mode right now. Tonight game could be rough. And that's a level of concern for me. I'm not going to lie there, Dives. I feel like that they're going to lose tonight, and I feel like this is going to change the whole landscape of the NFC.
Bye, dog.
Listen, I might buy 3 Rockwallers. I might, you know what I mean?
Listen, I mean, even if they do lose, I mean, look at the stretch that we had. And if you would have told me out of this 6-game stretch, you know what I mean? They got an opportunity to go 4-2. Beginning of the year, we would have signed up for it. So I'm not worried about it. Dallas has got to go on the same stretch. They got to go to Buffalo. They got Miami. Okay, they got to play too. Okay,
Yeah,
San Francisco's got a couple of hard games coming up. They got Baltimore coming up. They have the game, the last game of the year against the Rams. I already know why you're putting that up there because I hate to see this, but like I said, I just don't feel like it kind of snowballed on the Eagles, and that will happen to teams. Like a lot of people forget, the Eagles went into San Francisco about 20 years ago and rolled the 49ers and beat them 40-8. Eagles end up losing the last 7 games of the year, didn't make the playoffs. The 49ers took that ass whooping and went right to the Super Bowl and won it. So it's going to happen. Now let's see where it goes here. You can't have.
What's called?
Go ahead. Let's go through the credit. The comments.
Peppernick says, "I've been saying this since game one. The offense were. Yeah, listen, the OCs were off. Listen, you got to remember too, Mike. I love you, brother. I appreciate you, but you got to remember, like they're not going to get rid of him. He's already they're already invested in him. They'll give him a year or two, and then they'll, if case need be, they'll move on." But right now, this is year one with a brand new offense. They get rid of him now.
The only way
it's going to speak volumes to
the only way they're getting rid of him is if he gets a job somewhere else.
If they get rid of him now, that's going to show a weak spot to their hiring. That's what's going to show me. So, Mike, I'm going to give you this one. Was it me or was it our coach covering Depot with the linebacker?
He was covering him with a linebacker. It wasn't even that. Like San Francisco was smart. They went after which has been our bad area all year, which is the slot. And like I said, our defense looked like they were running in mud after the first quarter. They just like the pass rush couldn't get home. You got to tip your cap. San Francisco, they came in. This was their Super Bowl.
Yes, this
was their Super Bowl. Like I don't want to hear nothing else because my picks later on. Yeah. I'll give you what I'm thinking, but
again,
it just happens. This happens. Like I love it that people, and some guys on our network, they act like that you can't get your ass whooped every now and then and continue to go. Like this is what kills me. So it happens every year. The best teams get their ass kicked every now and then.
But Mike, aren't you afraid of
No, I'm not because you look at their demeanor, Pat. Look at their demeanor. They got their ass kicked. They know it. Look at their demeanor this week. They got a taste in their mouth. They want to get out.
And listen,
you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like you.
Yeah. Yep.
But it is
a mouthful.
Like they know that they got beat up on last week. And you know what? Sometimes teams need that. Again, but at the end of the day, we're talking about a 10-2 football team. I don't want to hear nobody else's BS about what their side agendas are. This team is 10-2. Their only loss came to the Jets and to the Niners. That's it. And they got to play the Cowboys tonight. And it's going to be a tough game. I still feel like Cowboys are the second best team in the NFC.
Listen,
I'm not sold on this Niners team.
Listen,
even after what they did a week ago,
Dak has to show up in a big game, which he doesn't. Listen, you can say all you want about Dak, but Dak is rated number 5 in the quarterbacks.
He is. As a matter of fact, I think he's
got big numbers.
I think he should be leading vote-getter right now for MVP. He's having an MVP type season, but he's right.
So how do you contain that, though, Mike?
What do you mean? How do you contain it? You just got to go there and line up. Listen, our offense has to get more. Like our offense has to get going. You have to make the Cowboys play from behind. Make them play from behind. You're not. You're. It's going to be a long day for them.
You're exciting me right now.
You know what I mean? Like you got to let them play from behind. That's it.
Dive says, Nick Morrow got destroyed last week.
Yeah, he did. Nick Morrow shouldn't be on the field. But then again, our starting linebacker, Cunningham, was out. I'm not saying they would have changed it, but, it is what it is. Like, some people just love misery, I guess, man. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, they got beat. They got beat, and they deserve to get beat. The 49ers played a flawless game. Well, 3 quarters, I should say, because the first quarter, they were non-existent.
Absolutely. Peppernick says the 49ers were exposed in 3-game losing streak, but I guess people forgot. Listen, Mike, again,
I'm going to tell you because they didn't have their starters, that they didn't have Debo and they didn't have Trent Williams on that line. They didn't have 2.
Niners called us, yes, but Dak is also on fire right now. Listen, the world can see that, and that's what scares me. Like, He could easily.
He's moving the ball around. Listen, I told you they became a part of that West Coast offense. So now he's using. He's throwing to Brandon Cooks. He's throwing to Gallup. He's throwing to CeeDee Lamb. He's throwing to Ferguson. The key for the Cowboys tonight is Pollard and the kid Rico.
Yeah.
They got to be able to run the ball. If the Eagles can contain that run and force them one-dimensional, I'm sorry. I don't think you have Dak throwing 50 times in a game or 40 times in a game. It's going to be a long game for him. It's going to give this defensive line a chance to hit him.
Yeah, and guys, here goes our man Dives again. By the way, guys, check out Dives. He's all over EOP, man. Does a phenomenal job. Does Eagles pre-games, Sixers post-games. He is all over this bad boy. If you want to talk about another workhorse on this network, Dives is it. Dives does everything. He is a hard worker. And, again, check him out does college shows. He's doing the college football shows. And, of course, he does the Party on Broad. He does it all, man. He does a great job. But he goes, I refuse to believe that the Eagles O-line is this bad at running blocking. Fingers crossed they get their head out of their own asses and start pushing people around.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I thought they did a pretty decent job on the Niners defensive line last week. I'm sorry, did you guys really hear from Bosa last week? I didn't really. I think he may have got there maybe once.
Mm-hmm. Matty B checking says they got away from having talent on the linebackers and any kind of running game.
Dude, they haven't had linebackers in 2 decades here. So I don't know what Matty B's talking about. They haven't had linebackers here for 20 years or more. They haven't had linebackers. I'm sorry. The last decent linebacker they had was back in 04, 05 when they brought back Jeremiah Trotter. They haven't had linebackers since. Howie doesn't spend money on linebackers. I know. You're on that hill. You don't like Howie Roseman. I get it. But you keep bringing up the linebackers. We haven't had linebackers. And we still managed to get to where we had to go. I'm not trying to hear that. And he did try to address it. He took a guy. Yeah, he's a little banged up, but it's upside. You bring in a Shaq Leonard hoping that he can heal up a little bit and help you along this year. And right now, a banged up Shaq Leonard is better than anyone that we have.
Really?
Yes. So, I mean, he's trying to do it, but I mean, God.
Here goes Angry.
No, what, are you kidding me, Matty?
He goes, hold on. We'll get to Matty. He goes, it seems like the Eagles are robots running the same place. Listen, I get you. Look, a lot of people are frustrated with this team. A lot of people are on the doom and gloom. I'm one of those cats. I mean, I don't know if this team can pick them. I mean, again, to me, I think the Dallas are. Listen, I hear you that the X factor is revenge for the Birds and trying to get themselves off the canvas and them being pissed off. But with Dak playing as hot as he is right now, it's scary. Like you said, he could pick you apart. How do you want it? CeeDee Lamb?
Dude, listen, last year he won mano a mano with Gardner Minshew and only won by 6.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a second. They had all their complimentary guys. Boom. And I put that comment up, man.
Hold on. Here he goes. The end is near.
Oh, yeah. Well, buy a dog.
That's right, though.
Listen.
What if the season comes to an end soon? I mean, are you going to be disappointed? Yeah, I mean,
there's only one winner. It doesn't matter. There's one Super Bowl champion, and then there's 32. Then there's 31 other losers.
If they don't make it back to the Super Bowl,
then they didn't make it. They weren't good enough to make it. But Jesus, God, you guys are writing them off after being 10-2. Like, give me a break. Give me a break.
Listen, we got, listen.
Nah, listen, you are full of it. I'm sorry.
You can't be always the happy horseshoe in the house.
I'm not the happy horseshoe, but it's Dallas week. And we've already beaten Dallas. And I want you to show me what team that Dallas has played that puts the fear of God in you, of you playing them.
Dak had us on the ropes.
Did he win?
No.
All right, then.
No.
All right, then. If he wins, then you can be like, man, well, they already beat us once this year.
I think the Birds got lucky the last time.
Well, guess what? I guess we must have a shamrock tattooed on their behinds because we've been lucky the whole year then. That's full of it, dude.
I don't know.
They didn't make the plays when they needed to make the plays. They folded under pressure. There's a ball on the 7-yard line. Their last play was from the 30 because they kept jumping off sides. That's an undisciplined team. I like Dallas. I think Dallas has the second best team in the NFC.
But, Mike, You can't tell me this team hasn't been walking on eggshells this whole year.
Oh my God, no!
And then
A win is a win is a win.
then-
Jesus God!
Finally, last week they broke.
Oh my God! Yeah, they broke an egg. Yeah, they had 3 games in 13 days, and out of those 13 days, their opponent had 10 days off. So they basically played 2 games in the time that they were sitting at home.
So
Reverse it, and let that be the Eagles doing that, and you would have heard. You thought the 49er fans cried foul last year. Can you imagine if they had to play 3 games in 13 days and then have to come in here and play? Come on, man. And
here goes Mike Kaepernick checking. He goes, the 49ers were healthy in the NFC Championship game, but the Eagles knocked one, but 2 their quarterbacks out, which is not the Eagles' fault.
No, that was Shanahan's fault, and we all agreed on that.
Yeah, but you're bringing this up last year.
Yeah, but I mean, again, but the reason why is because people are really now saying that win last year was not a relevant win because they knocked out Purdy because of what Purdy did this past game. It's totally 2 different teams. This is the one that says the question is when the Eagles go 1 and done in the playoffs, who gets fired, Sirianni or Roseman or both? Neither, dude. Neither of them are going to get fired. So you'll be alone on that hill again.
I love that.
Maybe he'd be sitting up there with a Fire Howie sign. He'd be like 105 with a beard down to his knees.
Oh, man, it's great.
I love him, but he's nuts.
Here goes my man. Dias checking is that would never happen. Oh, man. Here we go.
Comparing the 94 Niners to this Eagles team. Come on. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, that's the only one that the 49ers won in that decade. It's the only team. And I was just bringing it up because it's not like it doesn't happen. Okay, hold on. I won't even use the Eagles. How about this? How about Tampa Bay? They got rocked a couple of years ago by the Saints. And not in one meeting, but in both meetings they got rocked. They met them for a 3rd time in the playoffs, and Tampa Bay smoked them. And I'm talking about they got beat pretty bad. Like one game was like 38-13. The other game was like 41-10.
So here goes our man Angry Anthony.
I didn't use the Eagles.
Here goes Angry Anthony checking in. What I hear about Rosen makes the lineups for has his important on the plays. Yeah, well, he better do some play calling. He better do something right. Matty B goes, why wasn't the Eagles in the Super Bowl? Why wasn't the Eagles in the Super Bowl?
What the hell is he talking about? I don't know. Maybe
I guess he's talking about.
Is he talking about the 40-8 game? Because I told you we have Rich Coach as a head coach. Come on, Matty, you know that.
Yeah, I can't clarify. It was the hardest game on the schedule. Yeah, it was. It was.
Jesus! Now that was just the hardest game of the schedule. Kansas City wasn't hard though, right? Playing an Arrowhead on a Monday night, that wasn't hard. Come on, give me a break with that BS. Everybody picked them. Everybody picked them to lose to the Eagles. Everybody picked them. Oh, I'm sorry. They picked them to lose to the Dolphins. They picked them to lose against Kansas City. They picked them to lose against Buffalo. So congratulations, you finally got it right. Some team finally came in this stretch and beat the Eagles. Congratulations. I mean, come on. This is what kills me. See, people that say that they're somewhat fans, but they have an agenda. Like Matty. Matty wants Howie fired. Who's you going to bring in to replace him? By all means, Matt, make a list up of who you would want other than Howie Roseman.
Yes. And look at Matty B goes, they're not Super Bowl contenders. I agree with Matty. I'm on the same boat.
They're not Super Bowl contenders.
No. Not their style of play, no.
Oh, my God. Both of you. Go get a hot together. It must be the Mayfair thing.
I agree. I believe it or not, I got the Cowboys more of a contender than these guys.
Okay, so you got a team who didn't beat anybody as a contender over a team that's my God.
The Eagles have lost the same way, though.
We lost to the same team. They lost to the same team. They lost to they each. That's what you have in common. Other than that, who's Dallas beaten that has been worthy of note?
You meant smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors. Okay. See, Pat's slow as hell on this thing.
Yeah, I am.
Pat's probably about 2 pages up on the comments.
Hi, squirrel. But yeah, I mean, you can't tell me different. Is Dak not even? Dak's a top 5 quarterback. Hurts is not even listed on this thing. He's not even top 10 quarter of this list. Here, I got the list for you.
I think it's funny. He's not on that list, but he's one of the leading vote getters for the Pro Bowl.
Who cares about a Pro Bowl?
I'm just saying. Well, that's an All-Pro.
Yeah. I got it, but I mean, they can bring us. I mean, no one wants to make it to the Pro Bowl.
No, they don't. But And I think it's just you guys are killing me. You're asinine. After them being but one loss all year, that then now all of a sudden they're not.
So here
they're,
goes.
they're not contenders anymore. My ass, they're not contenders. You guys got an agenda and keep going. Pat, you're scared. Go get a dog.
Me and Matty B just see different things. Again, this is.
I don't know. Come on, bro. You are worried about everything this year.
Yeah.
Everything. Every game you're worried.
Look at their style of play. That will tell you.
Their style of play. They're winning games. What the hell are you talking
They're
about?
walking on eggs.
They have 2 losses, Pat. 2.
Yes.
And the team that we're playing tonight, we've already beaten.
2. And after the second game of the year, we were questioning if this team was going to be a contender or not.
Oh, here we go. Dog.
Matty B says, you can contain Dak with the Eagles' offense, but it forces Dak to throw. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, you're not sure about it. If the Eagles' offense is on the field and taking time off the clock, he can't be on the field playing. So.
Angry Anthony says, the Niners don't impress me, but last week it seems the Eagles were not prepared.
It's not that they weren't prepared, man. Like I said, they just it caught up to them. It caught up to them, and that's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Matty B says, I guarantee the Birds will not return to the Super Bowl.
Well, if they don't, then he's
Here goes Dives checking in. Dives says Eagles pass protection was great against the Niners, but terrible in the run blocking. That's solid.
That was solid.
Well, we don't have the Eagles. We don't have Goddard or Maddox
or Dean against the Niners. So the 49ers in that 3-game losing streak had Kittle, CMC, Ayuk, and other weapons. To say that they didn't have Debo or Williams is an excuse. Well, that's pretty much. I mean, if you go back and watch any of their, had a linebacker last year, Edwards and White. White was not a great linebacker, and do not tell me he was. White was not a good linebacker because we wanted him benched halfway through the damn season because he was horrible. He couldn't cover nobody. That's why he fouled Gannon's ass out to Arizona. Now, TJ Edwards, I agree with. They should have re-signed TJ, and that's a thing that's missing right now.
Yeah.
He should have signed TJ.
The biggest difference, which Hurts shows up, the confidence Hurts and playing good and not holding the ball way too long. Hurts needs don't be obvious looking for AJ Brown. Yeah, listen, he is looking for AJ Brown. I guarantee you, but that's a security blanket. But Anthony, the quarterback needs to make a decision. A quarterback needs to call an audible. You have to do that. So Mike will be right back. He's got to use the bathroom. But yeah, I totally agree with you guys. Listen, is he holding the ball? Again, this goes back to the play calling, though, Ant. That's all. It goes back to the play calling. Kaepernick says the Eagles didn't have Goddard, and they'll still have enough offense with Smith, Brown, Swift on the other. Yeah, but here goes the problem, Mike. Will they use Swift? When will they use Swift? Barely. Did you see his running game last week? 6 carries for 13 yards. Why would you do that? You saw it, right? You saw when they when he's in the running game, he causes havoc. Create some holes. Do something. Again, why not use the running game? That's what it's there for. Matty B checking in. He goes, and of course, guys, you can always check Matty B right here on the Edge of Philly Sports. Another working horse right here. He does a lot. Again, Phillies post game shows, Flyers post game shows. Has his own show here on Monday nights. Talking Kyle Quinn on Saturday mornings. This guy is all over the place, and I love Matty B. He goes, the offseason plan for your GM was garbage. Sign low-level linebackers, free agents, and draft failure. And the draft failure. I'm not going to disagree with you, Matty B. I mean, again, I love my man Mike's, the Georgia Bulldogs, but I got to be honest. If we're going to be honest, they haven't been hitting home runs of late. If you've seen Hassan Reddick's been doing the home run hitting for this team. He's been the only one getting to the quarterback as late. I haven't seen Jalen Carter getting to the quarterback. I have, I need to see more, and again, this fall, and to Mike Kaepernick's point, this falls on the OC and DC. They need to have come up with some packages, some blitz packages, something. You have to put something together on the field. And your middle got exposed last week. The middle of the field got exposed. The Niners took care of you with pretty much Kittle in the first half, Debo in the second. What do you think the Cowboys are going to do? What do you think the Cowboys are going to do? The Cowboys will run up the gut and throw all around. They'll pick you apart. That Cowboys team is nasty. They're looking for revenge. I'm sorry. Me and Mike are on two opposite sides of the fence here. I can't see this Eagles team bouncing back. I want to believe that they're a real 10-2 team. But I'm sorry. I just think the wonderful ride came to an end last week. I'm sorry. I think, playing against real contenders, no, they're not. Matty B checking in. Excuses. He's talking about me and Mike here. Championship teams don't make excuses. They just make adjustments. Good point, Matty B. So Matty B says championship teams don't make excuses. They just make the right adjustments.
Yeah, they do.
Uh-oh, here he comes, Matty B. Matty B, you got him off the throne and into a seat.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But duty calls.
Did you have Taco Bell or something?
No, man. It's just cold. Cold working its way through the system. Sorry, guys. But no, of course Matty B is going to say that. They don't make excuses. They don't make excuses. The 49ers, the team that you're crowning, Matty B, made an excuse all damn year. If we had our quarterback, no.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to hear that BS. They didn't make no adjustments. What adjustments did they make?
So
come on, for real. Just crown them already. You want them to be your Super Bowl champions. Let them be your Super Bowl champions, but it's still got to play out.
Here goes Angry Anthony. Goes Matty B decide, and Brian Johnson gets fired. Wow.
Now I can see Brian Johnson moving on.
That will be the GM of the Eagles. Well, that's a good thought. You know what I mean?
Who? There you go.
I like that.
It's funny, Matty B getting Mike and Pat all fired up. Mainly me. Mainly me. Yes. Matty's getting under my skin this morning. We're about to have a hockey fight, me and Matt.
Oh, yeah, the gloves are coming off?
The gloves are coming off.
Oh, no, dude. Isn't Pat and I? No, I'm not. I was a little bored.
Dude, you're a half hour behind on comments.
Yeah, well, we got to get through them. That's the beauty part about it. We just take our time talking to the people.
I missed Al.
Isn't Pat a Niners fan though? No, I'm not a Niners fan.
Lies.
I was a little guy. You know what I mean? I had a 44-pound head.
You still do.
Yes. Who wasn't a Rice guy back in the day?
I wasn't. I respected the 49ers up until their fan base became a bunch of wusses last year.
Yeah.
The sky is not falling. Everything the Eagles need to improve on, play calling, run blocking, etc., is in their control. Deep breaths. Everyone watch. Listen, guys, I'm trying to say the same thing, but good old Matty over there. They're not going back to the Super Bowl. They're not doing this. They're one and done. Matt, when they're not one and done in the Super Bowl, man, you are going to give me an apology. On your show, you're going to say, Mike, you were right. Because I had them going back to the NFC title game. I never said they were going to go to the Super Bowl. I said NFC title game.
Mike Papernick says, Dallas lost to the 49ers and the Eagles, but they're Super Bowl contenders. What a joke.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think they are. I think the three top teams in our, the top four teams in our conference it is what it is. It's the Eagles, it's the Niners, it's the Cowboys, and don't forget about the Lions.
They weren't prepared. Come on. Then what were they? It's either unprepared.
I didn't say they weren't prepared. I just said they just, there's some games, dude, where it just doesn't go your way. I think the Eagles are more contender than Dallas. Dallas lost to the Cards, and the Niners and the Eagles. Well, that's the truth. Listen, the Eagles just got to come out, Pat. They got to come out tonight, and they just got to right their wrongs. That's it. Yeah. I really think they can. I think they match up well with Dallas. They have the offense. They can go shot for shot with them. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Dallas' Achilles heel is the same thing as the Eagles' Achilles heel. It's in the middle.
Yes. Di says, I just made a batch of Grinch cookies. I think I'll just send them A dozen of them to Matty B. Jesus. Why is Matty B getting named the Grinch around here? He's not the Grinch. He's just speaking the truth. The truth will set you free.
It hasn't set you free yet, has it? Because you've been on that aisle for a minute.
Pat, the problem is the side doesn't call for blitzes and leaves his linebackers and corners to dry.
No, he does.
This guy's a fraud. Wow.
I got to disagree with that. He does call blitzes. The problem is the blitzes don't get home. Mm-hmm. He does call blitzes. But, I mean, you're supposed to. I mean, your job as a linebacker, if a back comes out of the backfield, that's your guy to pick up. So the problem is, if you ain't got good enough linebackers, which they don't.
Yeah, how about this? So he goes, why not the Super Bowl? Why not the Super Bowl? Why not? Praise Howie, praise Sirianni,
fire Big Dom. Leave Big Dom alone, man. That's bad enough. He got to watch it from the booth today.
Yeah, look,
he can't be on the field today.
He can't. Has security in the Eagles Stadium.
Can't be in there.
Can't be.
So, Pat, what's your final prediction for tonight's game? Obviously, you're going Cowboy heavy.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I want to believe in the Eagles are going to take this game, but I just can't. I feel like the reality is the Eagles have been exposed. I just feel like the Cowboys are coming in with a slight edge now. They're all rested up. They smashed up a Seahawks team.
They didn't smash them up. They barely got out of there with a win. Barely. I watched I watched that game from start to finish. They barely got out with a win.
In my opinion. Jesus,
well, because you're saying words that don't match up. That don't match up with the game.
Hold up, you didn't even like Jesus, bologna and cheese over here.
You say they destroyed the Seahawks. They didn't destroy the Seahawks. They won by 6.
Did they not put up 41 points?
Did the Seahawks not put up 35?
That?
Yes, they can. If the Seahawks put up 35 on them, you don't think the Eagles are better than the Seahawks on offense? I'll wait. Go ahead.
No, not this play calling.
Oh, Jesus God.
No,
never mind. I'm putting you on mute. Go ahead, man.
No, I mean, I want to be there, but I can't. I just don't.
Well, listen, then what's your prediction for the game? If you think the Cowboys are going to win, give a score, and what do you think the game's
I think it's going to be 27-17 Cowboys.
27. So you got Cowboys by 10.
Yes.
All right. Uh-oh. Yeah, I hear the horn.
Yeah.
All right. Time to go.
Yeah.
Listen, I got the Birds winning this one, and I'll say the same score I said on Thursday. I got it close. I got the Birds winning by 6. I got a 27-21 Birds win, but I think it's going to be back and forth. These games always are fun.
Yes, they are. It's going to be fun.
So get your popcorn ready, do whatever it is you got to do. And Matty B, if you are right, I will come on here and publicly say Matty B was right. I was wrong. So I will do that. So make sure you do the same, bud. That's all I'm asking. He says, why is there barely a win for the Cowboys? What did the Eagles do against the Chiefs and the Bills? Barely. I said, what are you talking about? It's the same thing. It's in the same boat. It's the same boat as the Eagles. That's what I'm saying. The Eagles barely beat the Chiefs. They barely beat Buffalo.
And the Cowboys, they barely beat.
But the Cowboys go on and barely beat the Seahawks. Oh, no, they romped them.
I didn't
say same thing. Yes, you did. You said they killed them.
I said they're high. They put up a lot of points.
Your exact words were they put a beating. They didn't put a beating on them. They won by 6. So, and the game, and basically, it came down to the Cowboys defense having to get a stop in that game.
All right, well, we'll look.
So we'll look at that, but I'm going to give you my quick 6
Go ahead.
for today. This is Mike's 6-pack. I have the Detroit Lions minus 3.5 over the Chicago Bears. Cincinnati Bengals minus 1.5. I have that's over Indianapolis. I have Houston minus 3.5 over those New York Football Jets. I am taking the Buffalo Bills 4.25 today over those Kansas City Chiefs with a 1.5. I am taking the Atlanta Falcons at home over those Tampa Bay Bucks minus a 1.5. And my upset of the week, I am taking the Seattle Seahawks plus 13.5 now. The line has moved up to 13.5 plus 13.5 against those San Francisco 49ers. They played their Super Bowl last week. They're in for a letdown.
All right. Well, listen, we have our picks. They are in it. Guys, I want to say, and by the way, tonight's an 8 o'clock night. Mike, this is your favorite kind of game. You love the prime.
I love the primetime games.
So I guess
Matty B, after saying all this, his last comment says the Birds will win today.
Yeah. Here he goes. Because I love the Cowboys. That's the only reason. Yeah, I haven't hate the Cowboys. Yeah. Listen. But I will
I
say,
love Matt. He got us all fired up. Thank you, Matt.
yes, thank you, buddy. Real fast before we get out of here, let me ask you, Mike. I know it's probably gonna be too late for dinner. Are you going to dessert?
Yeah. I want to do something special for the wife. So I don't know. I'll think of something. Hopefully she still ain't watching.
Yeah, well, my wife doesn't watch. So, but I will say,
it's good they got to look at us at home.
Yeah, they got deals with another 7.5 hours, and so it changed. They're hoping for us to go to work tonight. Anyway, listen, guys, we have a loaded schedule as always. Don't go anywhere. We got all across all the time at 9:00, and of course we have the Eagles post game with me and Joey Wood. So, and I think Matty B might pop on. He's always welcome. He runs the place. He's the face that runs the place, so of course he can hop on. But anyway, guys, we are going to get out of here. I want to say thank you to everyone for chiming in the show, and let's get out.
Later, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.
You